get started here tonight. Thank you everyone for showing up tonight for this wonderful workshop that the eBoard has put together. Web scraping is such a crucial skill for anyone getting interested in stuff. So for those of you still grabbing Chick-fil-A again, feel free to grab whatever is remaining. There's drinks in the fridge, Sprecher's tap in the back, and we're gonna get started here. So before I hand it all off to the wonderful people that put together the workshop, with Lucas here really taking the lead later here tonight, I'm first going to go through a couple announcements, a couple of them repeats from some of the previous events we've already held this semester. With the first one being an NVIDIA Student Network event actually coming up. So on February 10th, for those of you already in the AI Club teams, you've probably seen this Outlook invite that I've already sent, where the NVIDIA Student Network is hosting an event from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. on February 10th, all virtually, where you're going to get to hear from Thomas Bednars, which is their strategic researcher and engagement director on the importance of AI, upcoming changes in artificial intelligence, and ultimately great ways that you can get started in the field and even get a career at NVIDIA. It's going to be a great hour-long talk, lots of different information available there, and it's going to be a wonderful time. Next up then is an event that AI Club ourselves is actually going to be hosting with Mercury Marine. So on February 20th, meaning 2 Thursdays from now, not next week Thursday, 2 Thursdays from now, we're going to be hosting same time, same place, so 6:30, 7:30 here in the ITC. We're bringing in the Director of Global Operations and Manufacturing, which, I got to see his slides a little bit. They're pretty good. This is going to be a really great talk. He's going to go over his history, starting his education pathway, how he actually got a mechanical engineering degree, ultimately became a director at Mercury Marine through a lot of other startups, a lot of other companies, started learning about artificial intelligence, and actually won an award building deep learning applications in manufacturing specifically. Then he's going to really get in depth about how their deep learning at Mercury Marine works, talking about how they use advanced AI technologies in order to do anomaly detection, detect when thermals are off, and a lot of very interesting applications. And they're looking to hire MSOE students. So it's going to be a really, really great talk to listen to. Then finally, for those of you who haven't joined this Teams already, Dr. Riley has put together a jobs postings team. So he's put together a scraper which basically filters through a ton of different websites, so you can think of LinkedIn, Handshake, Glassdoor, Monster, all these different sites where you can see job postings. Make sure they're relevant to what MSOE people are learning, make sure they're local, and filters them by computer science, software engineering, and computer engineering. It's a great Teams just to see really recent posts from the last 10 days. So if you're in that job searching phase still for something this summer, this is a perfect opportunity for that. Then last announcement that I want to make, and I'll stop yapping and actually hand it to the important people later tonight, is the Innovation Lab. So from a ton of feedback of what we've talked about these past few days, we've made a couple changes to the Innovation Labs this year. One major switch is that we're making it much more hackathon-y like format. So as you can see at the top there, rather than it being very long, as you all are starting to gain experience in this space, we're going to be hosting another hackathon very, very similar to what we did for Hacksgiving. Much more short form, much more broader project space, and allowing a lot of creativity in the solutions that you can build. And ultimately sponsored by Direct Supply. So there's more details to come on exactly what this means. But for those of you who participated in the previous Innovation Labs, there's a certificate available for you that's in the General Innovation Labs chat. Everyone else who participates in this upcoming hackathon gets the same benefit, but a certificate from Direct Supply. Of course, the same $5,000 prize pool, maybe even a little more this year. Free food, great hackathon, lots of problems to choose from. It's going to be a great time. So if any of you here are interested in that, this is not a sign-up link. If you're interested in doing another hackathon this year, again, small investment, just a couple days over a weekend, end of Friday, here's your chance to say that you're interested in working with Direct Supply on some really, really great solutions, just like we did with Hacksgiving. great opportunity to get hired by direct supply, where they get to work with you in a problem space that they're really, really interested in. And just like when we worked with Discovery World, a chance for the teams to continue working with them beyond the hackathon. And again, a chance to be hired by someone like direct supply. All right. With that, one final reminder, ask questions, get merch. Ask questions, get merch. So we're gonna have a ton of eBoard folks tonight for any issues that you have, running around answering your questions. But if at any point, you're curious, you go right up to Lucas or ask a question, feel free to come grab merch. We have a ton of merch out here, stickers, brains, and again, first come, first serve. So if you ask a question of any of the eBoard folks and you don't have merch yet, come up here and grab it. Come up here and grab it. That's all you gotta do. And with that, enough of my yapping, I'm going to hand it off to Lucas Grawl to take it for the rest of the workshop tonight. Give him a big round of applause, everyone. Oh yeah,
Hello, everybody. So today, the focus of this workshop is to really get into the depths of web scraping. So I'm sure most of you have probably heard of web scraping and maybe even have a pretty good idea of what it is. But what we're hoping this workshop can do is to really get you a jump start into the subject. So you can walk away today knowing not only the basics of using certain Python libraries to get HTML from web pages, but also how to deal with problems like a page not giving you the HTML because it uses JavaScript to render something. And we'll even be covering using an LLM to structure this data. So all that being said, the first thing you have to do is to download this notebook. So if you just go to our teams, the link for this notebook is right here at the reply to the last message. So if you go here, you can download this notebook by pressing this button up here, download raw file.
And again, if you didn't catch that, literally the most recent message I sent in the general chat for the AI Club teams, and if anyone's not in the AI Club teams but still wants to participate, feel free to raise your hand, I'll invite you. Literally the latest reply from Lucas Grawl, just click that link and then there's a button in the top right to hit download now, and that's everything that you'll need for the workshop.
So once you have this file downloaded, you just need to open it in VS Code. And I believe you could do that by right-clicking it and then maybe just open in VS Code, or you could just open VS Code and then drag this file into it. So once you do that, you should have something like this. And to do this, you not only need VS Code, but you also need Python installed so that you could go up here into the top right and be able to select the Python version. So we will stop if we need time to do this, but for now I will just get into the basics of what web scraping is and how you might initially approach it. So you probably know, at least based off the name, that web scraping is the process of automatically going to a website and extracting or scraping its data. But it might not be clear why you might want to do this. You might want to do it if you just want some data to analyze for something, or maybe you want to scrape a website to find something out or to train an AI model. So, for instance, let's say you want to go to the AI Club website and you see that there's this great leaderboard here with all of this data that is just right here for you to use. Maybe you want to plot some stats about people on the leaderboard, or maybe you want to try to predict a model, train a model to predict how well someone is on a leaderboard. So you could just copy all of this, and that might work, but it's a bit tedious to get this into a format that you might want to have to do stuff with it. Something else you might do if you are familiar with web scraping, quote unquote, manually, is right-clicking and then going to inspect. And this should be supported in any browser that you use. So what this is, I'm sure most of you are familiar with this, or maybe have heard about it. It lets you see the content of a site, but the raw HTML instead of the rendered page. So what I could do here is say, I want this leaderboard data. So like, what is the HTML? And I might say, oh, the leaderboard is a table, and it has this class here called leaderboard table. And I also have the data, not here, but all the entries of the leaderboard are also in HTML. And maybe it would be easier to just copy this HTML somewhere than to scrape that. But that would work here, but if you're doing this and you have a lot of data to scrape, or you're trying to scrape multiple pages, or you just want to be faster, because doing something with Python automatically is faster than doing it manually, then you should probably be scraping. So this code below will do just that. It will scrape the leaderboard, and it will give you all the data in a very nice Python dictionary. So everybody go ahead and do that on your own. Go down to the point where it says stop, and we will have people going around answering questions and giving help if people need it. And unfortunately, there's no vaporwave music to play during this intermittent time. Maybe I can get some.
What's your vaporwave mix of choice? We'll see.
It's not.
Okay. We'll see.
Welcome back, everyone. We are going to resume the workshop now. But if you haven't gotten anything working yet, don't worry, because this workshop notebook, along with instructions about how to do things, will be on our learning tree after this event. So you can always go back and read how to do things. But for now, if you've managed to follow, you should now be at the point where you have this Python dictionary storing all the information from the AI Club leaderboard. So just with this, just with requests and beautiful soup, you can actually do like 70% of web scraping that you might want to do. Like some sort of things that I know people have done. One person scraped from a video game music website using just this method and just got a bunch of MIDI files. I also know you can scrape music off of SoundCloud using this, so it's a little more complicated, but you can do it with just this. So if you want to try something out. But what we're doing next is trying to handle the case where this doesn't quite work. So if a website or web page that you want to scrape has a lot of JavaScript that is dynamically generating content, you run into a problem, and it's that the request library, which is what we're using right now, does not run JavaScript on pages. So you will only be able to see like maybe the script and the placeholder elements, but not actually any of the content that you actually want. So for an example of this, we could go to the AI Club Research Groups page. So this looks just like another page, and even if you inspect element here, it looks the same here as well. We have this div here, well this div here, which is the div storing the content about the agent simulation experts research group that we have. And you might say, oh, this div has the ID of agent simulation experts. So maybe I can use requests to hit this page, get the HTML, and then extract the div with this ID. But when you go and do that, as you'll see, you can't actually see this div in the resulting HTML. You have to use something called Selenium. So Selenium is a web browser, but it doesn't have a GUI, and you can't interact with it graphically. It's a web browser that works entirely programmatically. So anything a web browser can do, Selenium can do. Most importantly, run JavaScript so that those dynamic elements are rendered. So what you would do is use Selenium to connect to a page like requests, but then wait a little bit for the elements to load, and then you can get the HTML, and then you have access to the div that you want. In this case, agent simulation experts. So now we're going to send everyone off again to try this out using Selenium. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to any eBoard members, or we might also come to you. And if you finish this and you have some time, feel free to try out some of these sites listed here, or maybe even you have an idea for a site to try, just to get a sense of what websites have the content right there in the HTML versus others that you might have to use Selenium for. So let's go ahead and do this now.
because I'm just barely moving.
Oh yeah, because have you been scanning the?
No. So I'm probably behind like 10. So bend everyone. One.
This is working 1 second.
I don't want to play. Asking him to give me attendance points because I'm like just below the board. Or not the board, but like leaderboard. I want to be third at least. So, and I have not been like watching attendance points and I've been here, so my argument is I should get points.
Do you know if I got a question? I don't know.
Welcome back, everyone. So if you've been following thus far, you should have been able to get the div data from the AI Club research page using Selenium. And from here, if you wanted to, you could do something like use Beautiful Soup again, which is the HTML parsing library, to get specific text from this. But going forward, something you might want to do is to use a language model to summarize scraped data. And this is the real interesting stuff. So most sites structure their data somewhat just by virtue of using HTML, but it's often the case that sites don't structure data well enough for it to be trivial to scrape. And that's where the usage of a language model would come in. So today we'll be using a free language model, Gemini, which has a certain number of requests you can make for free if you make your own API key. And to make an API key, you can go to this link right here, and you'll have to sign in with Google. And I can't get this to work on my machine, but here's a video showing the same process. So you could click the link, or you could go to it through Google. Oh yes, probably should full screen this. And then once you're here, you can view the Gemini API. I believe the link from the workshop takes you here. And then you just create an API key. And it should just give you some text that you can just copy after not too long. Yes?
So to recap what was all just shown, this next section we're using a large language model in order to parse these pages. Because of that, we need to get access to someone's large language model that we're going to grab from the cloud, because you know we're running this on our laptop, You can do this going to ai.google.com. It's also linked directly in the workshop notebook if you want to click it. Sign into your Google account, go to the page, create API key, copy it, put it into the code, and then you should be good to go to use your own large language model for this workshop.
And once you have that key, you specifically want to put it right here in a string. So if I had a key, I would just put it right here. Here's my fake key that I just typed. I actually need a real key to run this, so I won't run it yet. But once you have the key in here, you should be able to make a request to this page listing refurbished iPhones, and you can set up the way that the language model should structure the output from this page using this library called Pydantic. Pydantic AI, I guess might be the technical name. And you just use Selenium to scrape this page, feed the text into the model, and it gives you a very nicely formatted data frame with all the data. So let's go ahead and run this code now.
And for those of you who don't have a Google account or don't want to make a Google account, we have 3 free tier API keys, same ones, we can give them out to you. So if anyone's struggling with the Google sign-in process or just don't want to make an account, we can give them to you. Thank you.
No, because I saw people with boys. So we don't think
with a few minutes left, around 10 minutes. For those of you that are able to get the solution working, now try finding a cool scrape to do. Maybe it's your favorite website, some type of scrape, and post it in the AI Club chat. And we'll look through the responses, maybe pick a cool winner, get some merch prizes just to fill the time. And as always, if those of you who haven't finished it yet still have a question, feel free to raise your hand. We'll come over to you right away. And then we'll show the attendance QR code. A couple more minutes.
What's wrong with him? No thoughts. Oh, look at that size.
He still does that like weird.
Lucas, do you want to sign in?
Really quick, everyone, just if you were spending this time doing your own scrapes, put your best scrapes in the teams, and we will go over them right now and see some interesting things.
I really wanted to say, I'll get companies and anyone who can scrape like Sender's actual trees, like in the stock market.
Oh, the first person who can scrape an actual senator's salary stock trades.
thank you everyone for coming tonight. I hope you learned something new tonight in your toolkit for what you can do and what you can build in the future. Again, for any of you who weren't able to follow along the full time, we're both recording this event, which we'll post to our general chat, and all these resources are going